بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. والصلاة والسلام الأتمان الأكملان على أشرف المرسلين وخاتم النبيين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه إلى يوم الدين. وبعد، الزملاء الأفاضل، الزميلات الفضليات، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا بكم في حوار متجدد من حوارات الأربعاء لهذا اليوم. وضيف الحوار هو ضيف الحوار العزيز وسعادة الدكتور عمر محمد إدريس، المؤسس والمدير التنفيذي لشركة تيوما للاستشارات المصرفية الإسلامية والمالية. طبعا سعادة الأستاذ الدكتور حاصل على درجة الدكتوراه في المصرفية الإسلامية والتمويل من الجامعة الإسلامية العالمية، بالإضافة إلى الماجستير في الفقه المقارن. من ضيفنا العزيز هو مستشار شرعي ومدقق لدى هيئة المحاسبة والمراجعة للمؤسسات المالية الإسلامية أيوفي، ولديه خبرة بحثية وتدريسية في التخصص في العديد من الجامعات، منها جامعة أم القرى وجامعة رفت بالمملكة العربية السعودية، والجامعة الإسلامية بولاية مينيسوتا بأمريكا، والعديد من الجامعات الماليزية. طبعا سعادة الدكتور عمر لديه العديد من الأبحاث العلمية المحكمة والمشاركات العلمية، سواء كانت محلية أو إقليمية أو عالمية. طبعا سوف يستعرض ضيفنا العزيز موضوع في غاية الأهمية، وهو تأثير جائحة كورونا على الصكوك الإسلامية في مجلس التعاون لدول الخليج. طبعا سوف يركز هو بدراسة حالة على سوق الصكوك السعودية. طبعا الورقة العلمية التي سوف يناقشها سعادة الدكتور عمر هي في مسودتها الأولى وغير قابلة للتداول. طبعا سعادة الدكتور يرحب بالمداخلات والمناقشات الإيجابية التي من شأنها أن تحسن الورقة. وكما جرت العادة، يتاح لضيفنا العزيز 35 دقيقة لعرض الموضوع. وبعد ذلك يتاح للإخوة الحضور التعقيب والمداخلات والمشاركات البناءة. Dr. Umar, you will have 35 minutes to present your topic, then we will open the dialogue for comments question. Please take the lead.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. وصبحكم الله بالخير وحياكم الله وأهلا وسهلا بكم في هذه الورقة. وحقيقة أشكر المنظمين لهذا البرنامج أو لهذه الندوة أو اللقاء على إتاحة الفرصة لي للمشاركة في هذه الورقة المتواضعة التي كما ذكر أنها في مسودته الأولى وفي طور التطوير إن شاء الله والتحسين. ونرحب من الأخوة والأخوات كل المشاركات وكل الآراء البناءة التي تؤدي إلى تحسين هذه. I thank the organization of this forum for inviting me to take part in this talk today. The title of my paper is Impact of Coronavirus Pandemic on Islamic Sukuk in the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, a case study of Saudi Arabia. I'm so much interested in Sukuk issues, and being in Saudi Arabia, I had wanted to look into the Saudi Sukuk market and see how it goes on. And I specifically took a case study of a period of time, which is during the pandemic of Corona, and to see how this pandemic has affected, as we all know, it has affected the world, and how it affected the GCC, and especially Saudi Arabia. And as we all know, Sukuk is one of the most important Islamic financial instruments, which has proven its resilience, and it is benefit to many countries, institutions, and situations. Sukuk has spread and has made its way in the world, not only in the Muslim world, but also in the non-Muslim world. When we talk about the non-Muslim world, we're talking about Britain, which issued Sukuk in 2014, United States of America has issued Sukuk in 2015, Hong Kong has issued Sukuk. These are sovereign schools, and also we can find even in Africa, South Africa has issued Sukuk. These are all not Muslim countries. In addition to corporate schools also, which are issued by many institutions in outside the Muslim world. But more specifically, we talk about the Muslim world, the GCC, which has been, especially, of course, talking about the Muslim world, we talk about Malaysia also. Malaysia is one of the leading countries in terms of issuance of Sukuk, and followed by Saudi Arabia and the other GCC countries. This shows the Sukuk has proven its strength and power to solve many financial challenges in the world. And the reason why many non-Muslim countries also have joined this market is because of the nature of the Sukuk, which has proven it is resistance to many types of financial crisis. At least the effect of these crises on Sukuk are less compared to the conventional instruments. So when coronavirus came in 2019, a lot of countries have taken different measures because coronavirus has been addressed as a social and public health pandemic, which affected the health sector, which led to the adoption of many measures, the closure of many activities, social distance, and so many things have stopped. And consequently, these measures have affected the financial industry, or global financial industry, and the global financial market. So this effect has affected many parts of the global financial activities. One of the things that has been affected, which we are interested to talk on, is the Sukuk market. Sukuk market has been affected like any other instruments or other activities of the market. So therefore, this study has seen how the Sukuk market the coronavirus in 2019, 2020, there is a drawback and there is a slowdown in the market of the Sukuk issuance, and this slowdown has made a lot of changes in the market. So because the market which slowed down the market and made the market in a way that is almost frozen for a period of time, which is not so long. So government applied the contain banks.
يبدو أن هناك إشكالية في الصوت عند مقدم الحوار. يتم تدارك الأمر الآن. دكتور عمر، الصوت غير واضح. يبدو أن هناك إشكالية في الإنترنت عند مقدم الحوار.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Actually, a call came and interrupted my internet, so that's the problem. Sorry. So I don't know where did I stop. Yeah. Research questions. Research questions, right? So the research questions which came derived from the problem.
دكتور عمر.
Yes.
الباوربوينت غير واضح. Can you
غير
share
واضح؟
screen?
أجي أوكي طيب. أوكي Is this okay?
نعم واضح.
Okay. طيب. So deriving from the problem statement, we came up with questions. These questions, what are the challenges caused by the pandemic outbreak on Islamic finance process and Islamic Sukuk in particular? And does this Islamic Sukuk represent a safe shelter? Because this question, out of our experience during the pandemic and how the Islamic finance, especially the Sukuk market, slowed down, and after a short while, it also boomed again. So therefore, we ask whether Sukuk is safe even in the periods of time of crisis. What are the challenges that the market will face after the boom? So if the Sukuk market has been affected during the pandemic, when the pandemic finished, again, also because the boom will come. So what are the challenges that we're going to face after the boom? So therefore, the study aims to measure the effects of the pandemic, the magnitude of the effect of the pandemic on the Sukuk market, especially in GCC, more specifically in Kingdom Saudi Arabia. It also aims to disclose and analyze the effects. We see how this effect affected the market, and how will it continue to affect other activities related to the Sukuk market. So in order to answer these questions, we have adopted an approach to gather information. And mainly we depended on the survey results. Of course, not the survey that we conducted, but surveys conducted by other institutions, derived by other institutions, and also some of the reports from the government, and the available literature through the writings of the scholars. I have used some literature, I have visited some literature here, but and overall this literature, the whole literature that I visited or I studied, concluded that the research suggests that the COVID-19 pandemic has had a negative impact on Islamic Sukuk market. However, there are some opportunities. Of course, this negative impact has slowed down because we know Sukuk has been booming before 2019. It has been growing very fast, and suddenly the pandemic came and stopped or slowed down the growth of this. Then after that, it continued. So this period of disturbance or hindrance of the Sukuk activities has affected the market. So negative. So we have to acknowledge the fact that it has been affected. But however, there are some opportunities for growth in this area, especially during the pandemic. We have seen a lot of development, a lot of countries, especially Saudi Arabia, has resorted to technology, digital activities. This is one of the discoveries that we have discovered through this period, that the digital and technological instruments used for the financial transactions and financial activities are one of the things that we discovered more during the pandemic. Talking about the development of Islamic Sukuk in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I refer to Moody's report that the credit rating agency has confirmed that the Saudi government has succeeded over the past 3 years in developing a local market from scratch to deep and increasingly working well along, allowing it to benefit from the growing domestic and international. So the government of Saudi Arabia has taken some incentives, measures to build and strengthen the local market, local Sukuk market, in order to give way, allow many local participants to take part in the market. Of course, along with international participants also in the Sukuk market. The report issued by the agency indicated that this development in turn helped diversify the financing sources compared to what Saudi Arabia is an oil company or country which is leading the world, and it is one of the strategies of the government of Saudi Arabia recently to diversify other ways rather than depending on the oil, because when the country depends only on oil during crisis, especially like pandemic of Corona, or maybe the crisis of 2015-16, there are no choices, no other alternatives. So that's why the government has diversified its resources compared with the available during the oil price crisis in the 2 years, as well as easing liquidity pressure amid doubling of the government financing needs this year. Of course, the government has solved or has made a lot of improvements in the market. This is, as I said, not because of anything, but because of the need for diversification. Because in times of crisis, we need alternatives. When crisis come, some of the things, or the traditional ways that we do things have stopped, and then we have to find alternatives. So these alternatives will give the chance to the market to continue, not to stop. So the measures taken by the government actually is to help the market face similar crisis in the financial industry. So the Kingdom government, represented by the National Center for Debt Management, in April 2017, issued first international sovereign sukuk. Of course, the resort of the government to issue sukuk to fund the government projects is one of the innovations in the country. $9 billion. Then it established a local program for sukuk denominated in local currency in July 2017, and by 2019, the share of the sukuk in total is almost 50%, make it 50% of the count of the countries, making the kingdom Saudi Arabia its largest sovereign source of long-term sukuk, as the total Saudi domestic and foreign sukuk issuance exceeded 61 billion during the period of 2017 and 19. So this is a very important move by the government in order to make sukuk as one of the tools used for financing many projects. We see Saudi Arabia is among the leading countries in the world by 2023. Just recently, last month, Saudi issued almost $17.5 billion sukuk, and this is also a good improvement. So why now we say that Saudi Arabia is almost leading the world, and also the sukuk market is rapidly growing, is simply because of the nature of the sukuk of Saudi Arabia, the uniqueness of the features of the Saudi Arabia sukuk. Number one, it is the size and the liquidity of the sukuk. The Saudi sukuk market is the largest and most liquid in the world, with a total outstanding value of over 200 billion. This makes it easier for investors to buy and sell Saudi sukuk and provide them with greater liquidity. And also the government support. In each and every country, when the government gives support to the market, then there is no doubt this market will flourish and develop. So the Saudi government is a strong supporter of the sukuk market and has issued a number of initiatives to promote its growth. For example, the government has established a dedicated sukuk issuance program and has also provided tax and regulatory incentives to sukuk issuers and investors. So these incentives encourage the issuers and the investors, because the government regulations, the government provisions give security for the investors, also for the issuers. And another thing also is the wide range of assets. There is diversification of assets in the issuance of sukuk in Saudi Arabia, including infrastructure, projects, real estate, government receivables. This diversification helps to reduce the risk of for investors. So this will increase the appetite of the investors in investing in these instruments. Again, also one of the unique features of the Saudi sukuk is the compliance. The Saudi sukuk are structured in accordance with the Islamic law, which makes them attractive to many Muslim investors, even the non-Muslim, because the compliance with the Sharia gives security for the investors. So the growth of the Saudi sukuk market is within a period, not very long time, but it has grown so fast. So the Saudi sukuk market has grown significantly in recent years, both before and after the pandemic. So, however, the pandemic has had some impact on the market, including a slowdown in the issuance in 2020, as we mentioned. And after that, the market flourished. If we look at the characteristics of the sukuk market in Saudi Arabia before the pandemic, we find the Saudi sukuk market was growing rapidly in these years, as we mentioned. In 2019, issuance reached a record high of almost 52.5 billion, and up from US dollars 38.5. So actually in 2018, between 2018 and 2019, we can see that there is a huge a growth in the market. However, the growth was driven by a number of factors because of the, as we said, strong government support and increasing demand for the Islamic investors, and also diversification of the Sukuk market. And after the pandemic, also there is a growth that we mentioned in the during the 2020. There was a slowdown because of the sudden hit of the COVID-19 and the measures taken by the government. But however, the markets rebounded in 2021 with issuance reached 47 again, from 50, when it dropped, fell to 33.5 from 52.5. Now, in the following year, it grew again to 47.5 billion. So the pandemic has had a number of impacts on the Saudi stock market. It has slowed down the issuance and increased focus of the market on the environmental, social, and governance issues, and also growth of digital sukuk. Of course, as we said, one of the benefits that we learned, one of the benefits that we got, and one of the lessons that we learned from the pandemic is the result of the market to the digital activities. So here we have the growth of the sukuk, digital sukuk, which is one of the benefits that we gained after this pandemic. And the uniqueness of Saudi Arabia, Saudi Sukuk, as we mentioned, is one of the things that made the Saudi Sukuk very attractive to the local and the international investors. In addition to its unique features, Saudi Sukuk also offers investors a number of other benefits, potential for high returns. Sukuk have historically outperformed conventional bonds in terms of return, and also low volatility, because we have a kind of stable nature of the market because of its being backed by assets. The Sukuk are typically less volatile than conventional bonds, making them more attractive investment for risk-averse investors. And also the benefits that are given by the government, the incentives. Sukuk are exempted from certain tax in Saudi Arabia, which makes them more attractive to investors. Also, this makes it attractive. Overall, Saudi Sukuk offers investors a number of unique features and benefits benefit them, which is making it a compelling investment proposition. If we compare between the two periods, as we mentioned, the pre and the post-pandemic, we can see the issuance has rapidly growing before the pandemic, but after the pandemic, also after the 2020, 2021, after the slowdown, but it continued growing. And the demand for the sukuk by investors also before the pandemic has been increasing, but after the pandemic, continued strong demand for the investment, and also diversification in the assets backing the sukuk. And then after the pandemic, also we can see or have seen more diversification and more types of assets came, and almost strategies also in the market. And also the technology. Before the pandemic, also we have used technology, but actually after the pandemic, we have seen a huge amount of technology inserted into the market, which made it very easy for investors and issuers to make transactions. And when we compare, yes. So the outbreak of coronavirus pandemic and its challenges for the financial and banking sector. As we mentioned also, there was a challenge for in the market because the pandemic has affected many sectors, and this effect has slowed down and has made a lot of changes in the market, at least for a small period of time. So the outbreak of coronavirus pandemic has had significant impact on the financial and banking sector, but its impact has been less severe than the global financial crisis of 2008 and 2009. Through our experience and history of the crisis, when we compare between the two periods, the period of 2008 to 2009 and the pandemic, which is 2019, 2020, we can find that those two periods have been affected, but the effect of the crisis during the earlier crisis is higher than this. I think the reason why this is because of the lessons that we learned and also the developments that happen in the market. This is due to the fact that the pandemic was an external shock, because for the crisis of 2008, the problem was internal. It is in the market itself. So therefore, the market has been badly affected, while during the pandemic of Corona, the effect is external. What we mean by external, it is not a financial crisis. Actually, it is a public health crisis. But because of the measures taken, because of the consequences of this health crisis, the financial sector also was affected. So, however, we had ways out quickly, because even though we do not have time to go for normal activities, financial activities, there are other innovative ways of making our activities, especially with the presence of the digital and technological ways of making business. So the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on Islamic finance is big, it's high, but also has taught us a lot of lessons, and also we the Islamic finance has easily come out from it and with a lot of lessons. The coronavirus pandemic has had a clear impact on all various sectors, such as the social, economic, and the political sectors. And Islamic finance also has been affected. So, which is important source of economy in the world, it's been affected, especially with the evolution of its growth rate over recent years. So in 2020, there was a considerable number of initiatives and measures that contributed to the growth of the Islamic finance sector, as we said, because the lesson that we have learned and also the innovations that happen, we have made it easy out of the crisis. And in addition, it was decided to establish new Islamic banks in countries such as Uganda. So the Islamic finance industry, even though we passed through pandemic crisis, continued growing even after the pandemic, because we can see many other countries also have come and joined the industry. Uganda, Philippines, and other countries also. If we want to talk about also issuance of Sukuk, also we see many countries, even though the pandemic has come, affected the market, but after it, there is a lot of improvement, development. So many countries issued Sukuk. Some of them have never issued, but after the pandemic. So this is an improvement and development. The coronavirus pandemic has strengthened the Islamic finance sector. Success trends towards the development of financial technology through modern electronic platforms, and establishment of digital banks. So, as we said, the existence of the innovation of the new ways of making transactions through the digital and the technological facilities is one of the main factors that also help the Islamic finance industry, especially the sukuk market, to grow more and more after the pandemic. In addition, Islamic Sukuk has witnessed a considerable increase over the recent years, despite the impact of the coronavirus, as we said, on this product, but it never stopped. And this indicates that Islamic finance contains technical, legal, and legitimate competencies. So it means it has the power to resist many of these crises, thus making it capable of combating pandemics to make them opportunities to keep pace with the evolution and innovation of modern products to meet people's needs and to come out strong to continue to serve the Islamic finance. So taking all these lessons from the pandemic and taking all the opportunities, then what do we do next? So what are the things, what is forward? How do we keep these things and continue growing? The COVID-19 pandemic has had significant impact on the Islamic banking sector, but it has also created new opportunities for growth and expansion. Islamic banks are well positioned to play a leading role in the post-pandemic economic recovery as they offer a variety of products and services that are aligned with the needs of businesses and individuals. One of the key benefits of Islamic banking is that it is based on the principles of the risk sharing, where it makes Islamic banks more resilient to economic shocks and downturns. And also, additionally, Islamic banks are typically more focused on social impact. This is only another feature, another thing that the Islamic finance is different from the conventional. It is more of social. It focused because it's supposed to be. Islamic finance is supposed to be, although in practice, in many of the jurisdictions, it's not necessarily focusing more on social aspects, but it should be, because the aim and objectives of the Sharia is to serve the society, is to look into the social aspect of people. So Islamic banks are typically more focused on social, supposed to be more focused on social impact and sustainability than traditional banks. This makes them well positioned to meet the needs of business and individuals in post-pandemic world, where there is growing focus on the government, social, and governance investment. In order to capitalize on the opportunities in the post-pandemic world, the Islamic banks will need to focus on innovation and digitalization. And then they also need to strengthen their partnership with the financial institutions and businesses. By doing so, Islamic banks can play a leading role in the global economic recovery and help to create a more just and equitable financial system. So again, talking about Saudi Arabia, taking all this information, benefiting from all these experiences, what do we expect from the Islamic finance to contribute in the vision of Saudi Arabia, Vision 2030, especially Sukuk market? How can Sukuk contribute in the achievements of the vision of Saudi Arabia, knowing that the vision of Saudi Arabia has a number of points? Sukuk fits into these points. Sukuk can contribute in a number of ways to the achievement of the Saudi Vision 2030, including financial infrastructure. because one of the visions of Saudi Arabia is to finance to come up with infrastructure development. So we can finance infrastructure projects through Sukuk. Sukuk can be used to finance a wide range of infrastructure projects, such as roads, bridges, airports, and power plants. This can help to boost economic growth and create jobs. And also, Sukuk can also help in developing the financial sector, can help to develop the Saudi financial sector by attracting new investors and creating new investment opportunities. This can help to make the Saudi economy more resilient and competitive. And also in promoting sustainable development, Sukuk can be used, as we have seen in many also countries, to finance sustainable projects such as renewable energy projects and green buildings. And this can help to reduce Saudi Arabia's reliance on fossil fuel and promote environmental sustainability. Supporting social development also, Sukuk can be used to finance social projects such as schools, hospitals, and housing. This can help to improve the quality of life of the Saudi citizens. In addition to these specific contributions, Sukuk can help to achieve the Saudi vision of 2030 by promoting economic diversification, creating jobs, and boosting the economic growth. We have seen in the history there are a lot of measures, number of measures taken by the government, which proves to us that these measures, if taken using Sukuk, it can help in the future growth or in the future improvement of economy. So in 2021, the Saudi government issued a $2.3 billion Sukuk to finance construction of new airports in Riyadh. And also in 2022, the Saudi Electric Company issued a 1.5 billion Sukuk to finance construction of new power plant. Again, in 2023, this year, the Saudi government issued 5 billion Sukuk to finance a number of sustainable projects such as renewable energy project and green buildings. So this is an evidence that more effort can be put on Sukuk, more concentration can be given to Sukuk to contribute in the achievement of the vision of the Saudi Arabia. Sukuk is a viable tool that can be used to support the achievement of the Saudi vision. In conclusion, the study shows that the Islamic Sukuk is an important mechanism for risk management and encountering crisis in the financial process or in financial market. They are distinguished from the traditional bonds and equities by their economic reputation due to their yield and return to the Sukuk holders and the economic feasibility of the funded projects. Also, Sukuk they have gained the satisfaction of and acceptance by clients, individuals, and institutions, and this is due to the fact that it is the specificity on which the Islamic finance Sukuk are based, which is the burden of risk for all, because the principle is that the burden of the risk is for all parties participating in a project. If there is the risk, if there is a loss, then everyone who participates in any Islamic finance activity will bear the risk. And also, return is divided. Also, if there is a profit, the participants will share the profit according to their agreement. So the unparalleled demand for Islamic Sukuk is an evidence of their financial efficiency and economic feasibility, as they have become a safe haven for owners of funds and adventurers in investment due to their being a financial mechanism and at the same time, a mechanism for removing risk and avoiding it by relying on trading in the property, which is a real economy, not quantum economy. So the study resulted in these points. The corona pandemic is the most serious crisis that negatively affected the health and the economy, but at the same time, it provided a chance to promote Islamic finance and rapidly launch it. And also, the corona pandemic has clear impact on the different life sectors, political, economic, and social. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has become the most attractive place for investment in Islamic finance, especially with the Sukuk, which has grown considerably, bringing the kingdom closer to topping the volume of issues of Islamic Sukuk. Islamic Sukuk are the most developed instruments in the field of Islamic finance, especially after the COVID-19 crisis, and the volume of the public and the private sectors need for funding increases during the time. So I recommend, after all this, that there is a necessity of conducting more comparative studies of the countries of the Islamic world and Islamic financial institutions experience in facing pandemic and crisis, to just take lessons. And also, there is also need for working on spreading Islamic Sukuk culture in business communities as financial tools that provide them with innovative solutions, which lead to an increase in issuance by the corporate sectors, as well as the need to urge governments to rely on Islamic Sukuk to finance development rather than relying on, let's say, the only natural resources that we have in countries. And legitimate credibility is considered the first obstacle and great challenge, because many Islamic financial institutions have been established in many places, but again, also there are a lot of violations to the principles of the Sharia. So for this reason, to this mechanism, so it is necessary to focus on research in this field to set the foundation and jurisprudential standards that everyone agrees on and no one can split from. Countries must address the deficit in their budgets as a tool also, because they have to look at this Islamic finance tool to address their deficits and finance their public projects and infrastructure investment in preparation for facing any crisis in the future. And thank you very much for listening. As I said, this is the paper is in its initial stages, and I have just drafted it, and I welcome comments, criticisms, and whatever can help me in making the paper better. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, also welcome.
Jazakallah khair, Professor Omar Idris. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Omar Idris for his excellent presentation, which clarifies how the pandemic affects financial markets, especially the Sukuk market in Saudi Arabia. Also, the paper actually covers several important sections by reviewing the Islamic Sukuk and examining the types and characteristics of Islamic Sukuk besides its development tool. Actually, I want to add several points in the form of comments or question, and you can take all comments and questions from colleagues and reviewers at once. Then you will have a time to respond at all of these comments in general. So the first things I noticed in the abstract of this paper, you mentioned that the goal, or one of the goals of this study, is to estimate the size of the impact using a descriptive approach. And I couldn't see any descriptive statistics used over all the study, and hopefully to see it in the revised version.
Yeah,
So
yes, exactly.
yeah, you can answer later, no problem.
Yeah,
The second points I have noticed also in the introduction of this paper, especially in the first paragraph, claiming that countries faced a problem in funding their economic projects. So they use the financial instruments such as share, bonds, and sukuk to fund their projects. So I do agree with you at some extent, but it would be like what you call it would be very informative and convincing to the reader if you could like provide us a clear example or something to support this claim by showing, for example, the experience of any country in the GCC region using the sukuk to fund their project. Another also important point in the same paragraph, the paragraph 1, is that you mentioned the share, bonds, and other financial instruments impact individuals and societies' well-being. I want to know if there is like any specific literature to support this claim of the relationship between share and bonds from one side and society well-being from the other side. So more precisely, by how much these financial instruments affect the society well-being, and how do you capture the well-being? Because many discussion and arguments exist in the definition of well-being of the society. Do you capture the well-being by the GDP per capita, health, education? There are many indicators to reflect the well-being. So I do have actually 2 more points I would like to share with you, but I think I finished my 3 minutes comments. Let's see.
Please write to me.
Yeah,
Write it to me. I benefit from it.
okay. There is more comments from the colleagues. Let me take the بروفيسور عبد الرزاق بالعباس لديه تعليق. أيضا التعليقات بالعربية مرحب بها. تفضل أستاذنا الدكتور.
أوكي، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الهدف من هذا المداخلة هي إفادة المستمعين إلى أبعد من الحوار، لأنه رأيت هذا الحوار هو سوف يسجل ويذاع على اليوتيوب. هناك الكثير ويستفيدوا منه رأيت بعد 10 سنوات و50 سنة. رأيت النقطة الأساسية هنا، رأيت يعني إيش معناها أنك عندما تحرر أنه هذا المفهوم، رأيت الصكوك الإسلامية، رأيت أنه عبارة الصكوك إسلامية هي فيها إشكالية. رأيت لأنه المقابل الإنجليزي هو بوند، وبالفرنسية هي رأيت يستخدمون رأيت يعني عبارة يعني رأيت يعني obligation. الآن أنت عندك كلمة عربية أصيلة اللي تسمى الصكوك، رأيت أنك أنت لماذا تضيف عليها الوصف الإسلامي؟ رأيت إضافة الوصف الإسلامي عندما أنت تترجم ألفاظ وأشياء هي ليست رأيت أنه عربية أصيلة. رأيت رأيت أنه المسألة الأخرى، رأيت أنه عندما تتكلم على جائحة كورونا، رأيت وتربطها على أساس رأيت صكوك وجائحة كورونا وهكذا، أنه هذه فيها إشكالية. ليش؟ لأنه فيها إشكالية في تحديد الوضعية المعرفية. أنك أنت عندما تتناول هذا الموضوع على أي أساس تتناول الموضوع؟ رأيت أنه هذه الفرضيات التي أنت تفترضها، لأنه أنا عندما أستمع إليك أنا أستشف أن الفرضية أنه هي ثروة الأمم، معنى الأفراد والمجتمعات والدول والعالم بأسره، هي قائمة على الأوراق المالية وقائمة على النقود. رأيت وهذا فيه إشكالية. ليش؟ لأنه الذي عاش في مرحلة الكورونا سبحان الله يعني في العديد من الأحيان عنده أموال ولا يستطيع أن يشتري أي شيء، رأيت بحكم الحظر وهكذا. إذن هي مفترض أنه الكورونا هي تدفعنا إلى استيعاب أنه حياة الناس، رأيت إيش معناها الأساس هو ليس النقود، لأنه عندي النقود ولا أستطيع أن أشتري أي شيء. لذلك الإنسان عندما يقرأ في سورة البقرة بإمعان هو سوف يكتشف سبحان الله أنه في كل سورة البقرة رأيت الله هو يتحدث عدة مرات ويركز الرزق. أن مفهوم الرزق إيش معناها؟ في جائحة الكورونا هناك ناس عاشوا ورزقوا من دون استخدام النقود. الآن هناك إشكالية في الطرح في حد ذاته في استخدام الأدوات الكمية على أساس أنه حصر العلاقة بين المتغيرات. معنا هنا عندك جائحة كورونا وعندك كورونا والصكوك في العلاقة لرأيت السببية الأفقية. هذه فيها إشكالية. ليش اللي هي في إشكالية؟ لأنه في تطورات البحث العلمي الآن هناك حديث عن رأيت السببية العمودية. أنا أنصحك يعني اقرأ لكتاب جديد في 2019 في منشورات أونجيليكو في الذي كتبه هو سميث وورلونغ سميث، وهو يتحدث على العلاقة العمودية. لكن هو في حقيقة الأمر الفكرة الأساسية هو أخذها عند جينون. أنه جينون عنده كتاب 1945 عنوانه هو هيمنة الكم. هو يطرح هذه الإشكالية على أساس أنه حياة الناس أصبحت قائمة على الرياضيات والكم وعلى العلاقات السببية. وهذه فيها إشكالية. ليش؟ شوف إيش معناها. نتحدث عن الشريعة الإسلامية ونتحدث عن الإسلام وكذا، لكن إحنا نستخدم أدوات كمية هي ابتكرت لنفي الدين ولنفي القانون ولنفي التشريعات. لأنه الرياضيات التي إحنا ندرسها الآن والنماذج الكمية التي إحنا ندرسها الآن هي ليست الرياضيات، هي أحد أشكال الرياضيات المتحيزة للمذهب المادي. وهذه فيها إشكالية. النقطة الأخرى أنك عندما تتحدث أنت على الريزيلينس أنه فيها مشكلة. ليش؟ لأنك أنك أنت تتحدث، والذي أستشفه من هذا العرض أنه الحل السحري اللي هو الصكوك مع الأوراق المالية والنقود، وهي أساس حياة الناس. لكن أنت بهذه الطريقة حصرت حياة الناس في منظومة مغلقة. والذي درس الكيمياء الحرارية اللي هي تhermodynamics، والذي درس اللي هي نمذجة النظم الطبيعية، هم يقولون لك أنه النظم المغلقة هي سوف تدمر نفسها. السؤال اللي يطرح أنه كيف أنك إيش معناها أحصر حياة المجتمعات المسلمة من حيث الحلول في الجانب الفني على أساس أنه حياة الناس قائمة فقط على الصكوك عن النقود بشكل عام، وأقول لهم أنكم بهذه الطريقة أنكم سوف تعززون القدرة على التصدي للصدمات. وهذا من ناحية لرأيت التأصيلية والنظرية في كل العلوم، هذا في إشكالية. أوكي، أنا خلاص أنهيت.
أشكر الأستاذ عبد الرزاق بن عباس على هذه المداخلة. لدينا مداخلة من سعادة الدكتور كليم عالم، فليتفضل مشكورا. دكتور كليم.
Yes, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
ورحمة الله. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have 4 simple, easy questions for you. First is, how was the performance of Sukuk in post-COVID-19? Okay. Second question is, how do you compare it with the performance of conventional bond in KSA? I mean, in Saudi Arabia. Mr. Umar, is that are you?
Yeah, I hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the third question is, how much are the investments of non-Saudis in Saudi Sukuk, and how much are the investments from non-GCC members in Saudi market? I mean, in Saudi Sukuk again. Okay. And the last question is, I want to understand, you talked about digital Sukuk. Tell me more about what is this digital Sukuk? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, based on the, can I answer now or wait until everything
Wait
finishes?
until we take like more comments.
Okay, okay.
دعنا ننظر أن هل هناك أي أسئلة بالعربية أو الإنجليزية؟ فليتفضل. يعني تستطيع الآن أن تبدأ الإجابة ونشوف بعدين إذا في أي أحد يعني have a question.
Okay, so that I will not forget, let me start with Dr. Alam's question. Just by pointing to the simple points that I have put here in the slide. I have indicated with a little just bit of information what is the pre-pandemic situation of the sukuk in Saudi Arabia and what is the post-pandemic situation. In the pre, as I have given just a simple example, what happened is there is a growth. There is a growth, but when the pandemic came, the growth slowed down. This is a situation without going back so far, but there was a growth in the sukuk market, but suddenly because of this pandemic, this growth slowed down. But after it also flourished and continued. So this comparison between the before and the after, as I've shown here, is clear. Although it is just a simple clarification, it's not very much detailed, but it gives an idea to the reader, to the listener, that there was a difference between the pre and the post. And your second question, I don't have the statistics because I have not prepared to put this in the presentation today. But certainly, of course, you have asked this question, so maybe in next occasions, maybe I would need to put this because I have not been prepared to put this information. I just wanted to mention that there were investors, foreign investors, and also the comparison also between the investors Saudi Arabia and the GCC. All this data at the moment is not in the search, it's not in the presentation. So we need to find out because you're right, this question, but the research was not aimed to look at these parts, so that's why I didn't put them. Because since you have asked, I have to give you a specific and accurate answer, not just saying words, but it has to be accurate numbers and statistics, which are not available now. Yes, did I answer?
Okay.
But what about digital sukuk? If you can brief about digital sukuk.
Yeah, because actually during the pandemic.
Just to add to your earlier point, the foreign investors indicates the popularity of the sukuk or any financial instrument. Thank you.
Again.
The foreign investors, the number of, if you have more foreign investors, that means the popularity of that particular financial instrument.
Yeah, exactly.
As the indicator.
Yeah.
Just tell me about digital sukuk. What did you mean by digital sukuk?
Yeah, what I say, because during the pandemic, because the pandemic has helped us in transforming the financial industry into digitalization. If you read about the financial technology, fintech, then you will see a lot of transactions which have been done traditionally, whether with papers or whether with some traditional activities in the capital market by, for example, making some efforts to gather investors, for example, to brief them on scope. This at this time now, these activities have fully been digitalized, or in more of its activities have been digitalized. It means there are no so many papers, no meetings, so many meetings. There are no also many formalities. Actually, the issuers can do most of their transactions digitally through the computer sitting, and also investors also can go and participate and do all these things digitally, minimizing many of the activities, normal activities that people do. This simply what is meant by digital. If you need more clarification, then maybe you have to think about the financial fintech. What do we mean by fintech? Because what's the difference between the financial technology and the traditional financial system? So this is also what gives you the difference. So when we talk about fintech, which means we are becoming more digitalized, we are moving towards digitalization. And when we talk about conventional, although we have used the digital transactions or digital ways, but there are other physical or traditional ways of making the transaction in the financial market. Yes.
بدنا نشكر سعادة الدكتور عمر على ما قدم. نشوف إذا في أي مداخلات أخرى. شوف إذا في أي مداخلات عبر الشات. يبدو أن الدرس ما شاء الله واضح وكامل ما شاء الله. لدينا مداخلة أخرى من سعادة الأستاذ الدكتور عبد الرزاق.
أنا سوف أختم لأؤكد يعني على هذا النقطة. على أساس أن تطبيقات التموين الإسلامي هي الآن أنها تفرض علينا الخروج من هذا الخطاب العام. معناها أدوات مالية يعني تحقق أحكام الشريعة الإسلامية ومقاصد. أنه هذا كلام عام. الآن المحك اللي هو أبعد، أنك الآن يجب تطوير اللغة الفنية للتموين الإسلامي. لأنه إيش معناها؟ أنه قوة الصكوك، أنه قوة التعامل بالصكوك هو ليس لأنها هي تنتسب إلى الإسلام، أو أنها هي تراعي قواعد الشريعة أو تراعي المقاصد الشرعية معناها العامة والخاصة وأيضا جزئية. لا، قوة الصكوك هي تكمن في أنها تابعة للمنظومة الربوية القائمة على المداينات وتوليد النقود من لا شيء. هذه هي نقطة مهمة على المؤصلين والمنظرين والمطبقين والمطبلين للتمويل الإسلامي أن يستوعبوا يعني هذه النقطة المنهجية الجوهرية التي هي باتت يعني ظاهرة للعيان اليوم. جزاك الله خير.
جزاك الله
دكتور عبد الرزاق.
كلمة أخيرة.
وأنا معك يعني. هو الدكتور عبد الرزاق يعني ما شاء الله أنت تتكلم من الناحية الفلسفية للنظرة السائدة للتمويل الإسلامي. طبعا يعني عندما ننظر ونرى الواقع الذي نعيشه الآن وما نتحدث عنه في موضوع التمويل الإسلامي، نرى كما قلت كلها تنظيرات. زي ما قلت لكم يعني كما ذكرت في العرض، يعني حتى يعني تطبيق أو موافقة هذه النشاطات بالشريعة الإسلامية تحت سؤال أسئلة يعني كثير من المؤسسات المالية. وزي ما قلت يعني مثلا بنوك عالمية كبيرة فتحت ويندوز نوافذ وفتحت فروع. هل هذه البنوك فتحت هذه الفروع والنوافذ لخدمة الإسلام؟ لا، لخدمة نفسها. لأن هذه المؤسسات المالية التقليدية رأت أنها تلعب خارج الملعب، فلا تريد أن تلعب يعني لا تريد أن تكون في يعني ملعب جديد مالي في العالم وهي غير موجودة. فلذلك أقحموا أنفسهم في هذه المجالات وفتحوا نوافذ وفتحوا فروع، وذلك حتى يكونوا موجودين. ولكن عندما تنظر إلى ما يجري في هذه المؤسسات المالية ترى أنها يعني أكثرها أو كثير منها بعيدة عن المبادئ الإسلامية، المقاصد الشرعية، وحتى أن الأخلاق. فلذلك يعني كلام الدكتور عبد الرزاق كلام في يعني محله. لابد أن ننظر إلى هذه الأمور بنظرة أدق. يعني أنا صراحة يعني استخدمت في هذه الورقة كلمة الصكوك الإسلامية، ولكن غالبا لا أستخدمها صراحة والله، ولكن استخدمتها لأن برضو لا بأس في حين لأن الصكوك قد تكون يعني طبعا المصطلح السائد عندما تتكلم عن الصكوك نتكلم عن الصكوك الإسلامية. أي واحد يقول لك يعني في سوق الأوراق المالية صكوك معناها صكوك إسلامية، فلا داعي لربطها بكلمة الإسلامية لأنها مفهومة بطبعها بأنها إسلامية، كونها صكوك فهي إسلامية. كلام صحيح. شكرا.
طيب، أشكر سعادة الدكتور عمر إدريس على ما قدم وأوضح وأجزل في هذا الحوار، وهو حوار ممتع مع سعادته إن شاء الله. وأختم هذا الحوار بسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك، أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت، أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. نراكم في حوارات أخرى.
قبل المغادرة بالله أرجو من الأخوة الذي عنده أي ملاحظة يكتب لي أيضا، لأن أنا أريد أن نستفيد من هذه الملاحظات لإثراء البحث، يعني
بإذن الله.
حتى يعني for those who want to please maybe you can write to my WhatsApp. I think my telephone is there, or maybe you can ask Dr. Abdulrahman, he give you my number, my WhatsApp. Please send me any comments. I welcome to
أوكي.
just make the paper.
نشاركهم
Thank you very much.
رقمك وإيميلك إن شاء الله بإذن الله.
شكرا.
أوكي أبشر، أنا سوف أرسل لك إن شاء الله.
جزاك الله خير.
نراكم في حوارات أخرى. السلام عليكم.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.